Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's give our people some time to get in here. Let's give our folks some time to come back. Shake, shake, shake. Shake the devil off. Baby. Here we are again, starting all over. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Can y'all hear me all right? Hello, come on in here, y'all. Thank y'all for coming back. Thank you all for coming back. Thank you all for coming back. Thank y'all for coming back. Thank y'all for coming back. Let's see. I think we're having more IG issues. Let me see here. Thank you guys for coming back on YouTube. Thank you guys for coming back on Facebook. Thank you guys for coming back on the platforms. I really sincerely appreciate y'all. I think I might be having some issues on IG. I think I am. Yeah, I am. That's why. Okay. Hold on. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming back. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everyone. Thank y'all for coming back. I'm going to give everybody a minute to come in here. As a matter of fact, let me get off the wireless. Y'all, I'm going to go. Well, I guess I don't have to do that. We'll go here. We'll do the IG live right here. All right. We'll do the IG live from here. Hold on, everyone. So that way IG can participate in this conversation we finna have. Baby, the folks is folksin', ain't they? They don't want y'all to know nothing, do they? The devil is a liar. The devil is also going to be getting in trouble soon. Just rest assured, because God don't like ugly. God does not like ugly. How about that? How about that? Come on in here, Instagram. Come on in here, Instagram. Come on in here. What's up, YouTube? Hey, IG. Welcome back. Come on in here. Come on and join the family. We're waiting for more people to have an opportunity to come in and party with us tonight. Oh, but yes, we are. Y'all, this is something else. Thank you. What's up? What's up, Instagram? I'm sorry, you guys. I had y'all locked in the other way, but now, unfortunately, due to the... Okay, let's see. Bring y'all up here. So at least you guys can see me up here. Hi, everyone. Do me a huge favor if you can. Let me see. Turn that just a smidge. Yeah. Do me a huge favor if you can. Come over to my YouTube channel. If you're watching me on Instagram, please come over to my YouTube channel. Man, these people, honey, this energy that's just shutting my lives down out of nowhere must be scary to know that you're going to lose. Must be, honey. Must be. Hello, hello. Good to be with y'all. Good to be with y'all. Good to be with y'all. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Nights with Nicci. You guys, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. She's back on live. Unfortunately, they clipped me, or something clipped me. Maybe it was just, I don't know, the ghost in the machine. But it's a very cowardly thing to do. You guys, we were talking about the cowardly things that these apps, some of them, not all of them. We want to be nice with these apps, of course, because, we need them for now. But the cowardly way that they try to censor, really important information in our community, right? We have had so many people. When I start talking, I'm a fluff around for a minute, y'all. Just FYI, I'm going to fluff around for a minute. Because if I go right into talking about Stars, Lionsgate, Katori Hall, and P Valley, and how they're going to lose this litigation, because we believe that God is able, and we believe that all of you out there who want to see truth and justice prevail are supporting us. When we start talking about that, it gets a little wonky out in these streets, gets a little funny. And that's unfortunate, because we should all be able to speak truth no matter who we're speaking it to. We all deserve to educate our communities. We all deserve to share our experiences. And none of us should be controlled by the OODA, the owners of the algorithm, especially when it's just because they are afraid that the message will get to the right people. And let me just get right on into it before they shut my ass down again, because they just shut us down and we had to restart our live. But it's okay, because we'll just keep restart. If they listen, y'all, forewarning, if they shut us down again, then you know where to find me, right back here, because we coming back every single time. And hopefully this time they won't have it won't be as easy. That's the other thing. We're working, whatever. I'm not even going to go all off into all of that. But I do want to share some stuff with you all. I want to share something really, really cool, but I want to make sure we are good. Hold on. Where are we? Yes, we are good there. Let me make sure we are good on Facebook, guys. Hello, Instagram. I am live on worth.tv YouTube. And you can see the full picture on worth.tv YouTube. So if you want to go there, then please do. And if not, then you can hang out right here on IG. But I am going to go into a little bit of a praise report, right? Okay, yeah. I think I'm live on... Am I live? Yes, I am. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to mute my phone. Hold on. Put it on Do Not Disturb. Hold on for a minute. Okay. We getting it together. We here? We here. Okay. We're here. Hell, the gang's all here. Thank you. Thank you. If you are on my YouTube channel, that is the worth.tv YouTube, we back. Yes, we are, Tiana. We are back. Yeah, they're doing everything they can. Exactly. Yep. So you guys, make sure you share this live. Make sure that you like this live. Make sure you interact in the comment sections on this, because that's super duper important. It tells the algorithms that don't cheat and the algorithms that don't want to silence good information that you guys are enjoying what y'all are watching. And of course, we'll get into some Q&A stuff, right? But we gonna just go with the flow, like they didn't just try to shut your girl down. Because baby, when I tell you God don't like ugly, and God ain't too fine to cute neither. So there are some things that have transpired over the weekend. Some very serious things that I cannot really talk about, because it is not my place to talk about these very serious things that are happening with some people that are connected to my case. It is not my place to speak of it, although it's public. And if you go digging and swimming and sifting through, you might find a few things. See, God don't like ugly, but down the wrong way. You might find a few things about some folks if you go digging and sifting. But I'm not going to share that information, because it ain't for me to share yet. But it should become public soon. What did you say? Oh, excuse me. I hope this ain't finna be one of those moments where, you know how it goes down the wrong way and then like you coughing for 30 minutes. Don't you hate that? Yes, I do. Does anybody know what the solution to that is? Hey, Tuggle, I see you. Hello. Here, let me, I saw you, friend. I saw that you just called me. Do you want to come on this live with me? Do you want me to send you a link? Tell me if you want to come on this live. Hold on, you guys. My best friend is on here. And she probably like, that bitch probably live because I silenced her. Yes, I'm live because they just booted me off, right? So hold on, you guys. Let me tag this. Please bear with me while y'all are coming in here. Worth.tv, YouTube. Yeah, they shut us down, honey, but we back. Bitches. We back. Hold on. So you guys, please come over to my YouTube channel if you like, so that you can see the full presentation, and also so you can like, you can share, and you can subscribe. I am monetized on all of my platforms, but YouTube is, the most, right now. YouTube is the one. The one that is working best for me because I tend to be able to have more freedom of speech. And I'm not shadow banned like I am on this one right here. And the other one. Hold on, guys. I'm going to pull this up because I want to read some stuff to y'all. What I was sharing before I got bumped off of my live. I was sharing, hold on, aft report. So a lot of people have been asking me, hold on, y'all. See, I got to get everything. I had everything set up and everything, and now I got to do everything over because the OODA, the owners of the algorithm. So a lot of people have been asking me about my, what happened and why my case ended up getting dismissed, right? My case ended up getting dismissed, and my expert report ended up getting thrown out by the judge in my case, right? And it's really interesting. There's so much I want to share that I cannot. But if you research and Google and find it yourself, then that is on you. But I don't want to do it because it would be borderline disrespectful. And the thing is, I don't know how that's going to pan out. And really, that's not my business. But I've been praying to God that there is an opportunity. And many of you have even asked this question. And many of y'all have said, well, what can you do? And this is to answer the question about contacting the Department of Justice. Okay. So the thing about it is you cannot really contact. There's an article. Hold on. Let me read from this article that came out, I think today or yesterday. And for those of you on YouTube, you will be able to see the photo because I'm going to put it up here. Can I drop it in? Is it going to let me drop it in? It let me drop it in. So y'all see right here, you guys, you can't see this on Instagram, but on YouTube, what I've shown them is an article that says, federal courts are full of judges who could retire, but won't. Little can be done about it. Democrats were able to get Joe Biden to step aside after pressure, and it could be much more difficult than that for a federal judge. So just to give you guys a little bit of education on how this works. Federal judges have lifetime appointments, right? That means, thank you for moving over from IG. I appreciate that. You'll be able to see some of these pictures and images and things that I'm dropping in. And again, I really need you guys to hit the like button. I need y'all to hit the subscribe button, and just let the OODA know that you are indeed enjoying this content because we're trying to educate people. You read that article? Super. That is Anna Kia. Yeah. So you guys, I don't want to get into, I have to be very careful. The reason I have to be very careful is because they're watching everything I do. Y'all see every time I get on live, my lives just miraculously just drop out. Like they just don't work. Ty, I'm about to text you from this other phone number. If you're still on here. Because, hold on, you guys. If my best friend is available, hold on. Let me see if she wants to jump on. She knows, listen, I was writing Soul Kittens Cabaret in her guest room. It's still on her computer with the floppy disk and the drives. Let me ask her. She's so like not about this like public life, but I'm gonna ask her anyway. You want to jump on my live? Okay. So the article talks about how federal judges, they are just protected because they are lifetime appointments. Presidents are selected for 4-year terms, right? And the most they can serve is 2 4-year terms. Unfortunately, am I still alive, you guys? Okay, yeah, I am. I'm like, what's going on? Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that can be done about that. So when people start talking to you about the importance of voting in elections, I'm wearing my Black Votes Matter shirt. The reason why I'm trying to get you guys to understand, like I've learned, that is one of the most powerful positions in the world, in the United States, in the world, is being a federal judge, because it takes more than just a complaint to, she, she says, yeah, I'm here. No, I mean, do you want to come? Tyree, I mean, do you want to come on camera? You don't even have to come on camera. I could send you a link so that you can join my live, or you can join from either IG, or you can join from, I can send you a link on YouTube so you can be on camera. So just answer that, what I just told you on text. And if not, don't worry, we can do something more planned. But the reason I would love for my best friend to come on here is because, number one, I got some good people in my life who y'all will probably never see. She's a TV producer. She's a incredible mom. She's an incredible human being. She's been my best friend forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. And she is my calm and my process and my practical, and let's unpack this and let's make it make sense. She knows me, and she knows, hold on. Okay. She's texting me now. We'll find out. She's like, hell no. Hell no. To the no, no. Okay. Which one do you want to do? Okay. You wanna, hold on, let me just send her the link. I'm gonna email it. Hold on, guys, bear with me for a sec. Or send me a request on IG, but I'm gonna send you this link. Hold on, y'all, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere, because we're gonna get into this. Gotta email it. Okay. Hold your horses, guys. I'm going to bring her into my live. I'm going to bring her on in. Yes, I am. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Tyree, I'm about to send you the link, boo. I'm finna send you the link. Hold on. And you just click on that link, and then when you come in, I'll be able to bring you in. You guys, she's going to come in on my YouTube. So if you want to see my beautiful friend, then you have to, what the hell did I just do? You have to come to the YouTube. And Tyree, you can also just put a picture up. You don't have to come live on here like that. Hold on, here we go. Doesn't matter. Send me. Okay. I'm sending it now. Okie dokie. Hold on, guys. Y'all want me to sing a little bit while we going through all this stuff? I emailed it, boo. So you should have it. A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. But okay, I'm gonna stop. This is a serious conversation we're trying to have here. Okay, so I sent her the link. While we're waiting for my BFF to grab that link, I am going to pull up this report. She knows most of this part already, so I'm going to start reading it. Hopefully she got that link sent to your email. And the reason I would love for her to come up is because she's super freaking smart, and she knows a lot about this case because she is my best friend. Well, the things I can tell her, of course. Um, and she, oh, good. I see everybody. Oh, let me speak. I can spend that time. Vote, vote, vote. Yes, vote, 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 vote. We cannot say it enough. Tiana says, yes, we're back. They are doing all they can to stop. Yes, they are. I just moved from IG. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Eric Buckner, I see you. Greetings from Facebook. Hey, Tim Ellerby. Those are my friends from school, you guys. Facebook is always good. Hi, Zellen. I see you too. I see you too. Okay, let me see. Is she coming in? Coming in, coming in, coming in. All right, when she comes in here, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and add her to the live. But let me get into this real quick. So what happened is the judge in my case in Los Angeles dismissed my case because he said that there weren't enough similarities in my case in order for it to go forward with a trial. The reason that that has been so shocking, and I'm trying not to be redundant, which is why I'm gonna give y'all some new information today, because it seems like every time I come on live or YouTube or whatever, I'm regurgitating the same information. So I want to give you guys some new information because a lot of people have asked, well, why did he throw out your experts report, right? And one of the reasons listed, or the reason listed for him throwing out my experts report, is because he said that my expert was not qualified. And I just want to share, this is a public document that has been filed. You can find it on Pacer. It is the expert report. What happens when you, and this is for anybody who is or will ever have to face a copyright infringement litigation. First of all, it is the most expensive undertaking ever. Like, I did not know how difficult this would be. I heard people talk about it. People told me that it was going to be expensive. I didn't know that it was going to be millions of dollars, because who has millions? Definitely not me. Y'all don't believe anything you see online about me being worth this or that, because they're all lies. I'm not worth none of it, right? And I don't really discuss like my financial stuff like that. I just don't think anybody really should. But I can tell you that all you see online are lies, because I ain't never told nobody how much money I make, except people that I have to tell how much money I make. And I don't think that I have to tell the people in the public. So I don't know where they get all of that, like estimated worth and all that other stuff. But don't believe any of it, because for me, I don't know about everybody else. They might be worth 10, 15, 20, $500 million. Your girl, not so much. Real regular, degular, real every day I'm hustling. And very, yeah. So there's that. So my expert's report was thrown out because they said that he was unqualified to share his expert opinion. Had his expert opinion been accepted, right, then it would have presented a triable issue of fact, right? So I'm not a lawyer. I'm trying to remember. Hold on, this is her. They're blocking me. I can't use the link to get in. Are you serious? Okay, come on IG Live. That's crazy. Send me a request through IG. She's being blocked, y'all. She can't come on. IG Live. Maybe they'll let you come on. I don't know. All these damn distractions because people trying to be shady. My expert was very clear about his opinion of what happened with this P-Valley case. he was very straightforward in his opinion about what he believes happened. And I'm going to share that with y'all. And I'm going to share it with you because we're still paying the $50,000 plus that we paid for this expert report that was thrown out. And I feel like if the expert's report had not been thrown out, then it would have presented what they call a disputable issue, which means that it goes to trial and it goes before a trier of fact. Trier of fact are the 12 jurors that we asked the judge to allow us to go before. So this is just a quick refresher for those of you who are like, we already know all those details, but some people may be new and they may not know. So we want to be courteous to all the new people who are on here. Hey, Chip Tip, I see you. Chip Tip, I see you. I see you. I see you. I love you. I love you. Okay, let me not get distracted by y'all. That's why I'm not going to be looking at y'all coming on here. Okay, here she is. I think that's Tyree. Yes, it is. Boom. Okay. You guys are about to see my gorgeous and wonderful. Okay, let me turn it up. Y'all be able to hear her on YouTube, but for some reason they're not allowing her to click in on the other link I sent. Boom. Okay, there you go, friend. Hey, baby. Hola.
What's up, lady?
I can hear you. Okay, perfect. Okay, super dupe. Okay, what's the latest and the greatest, friend?
Girl, they didn't want to let me in on this. I know that's for sure.
They sure didn't. YouTube, you guys can't see my beautiful friend's face, but she is on the live. This is the person who is my, look, baby, when I tell you this is the person I have to call that helps keep me all the way together. I got a super tight circle, and this is definitely one of my anchors. So love you, love you, love you, Tyree. So I was just breaking down, like I said, she knows from the top to the bottom and back to the top all about this case, y'all. And that's because she was there when I started writing Soul Kittens Cabaret in her damn guest room. Tell them, friend.
You actually started the script and finished the script before it took you like 7 days. You wrote the whole
Yes,
thing.
I was just on a writing whole thing. So before I get into what I was going to do is I was going to share with them, Tyree, the expert's report, right? Because that is the thing that was thrown out, and that is the thing that has presented the real issue for me. Because had the expert's report been allowed to stay in this case after we paid a tremendous amount of money for it, it would have presented a triable fact, a disputable fact. I'm sorry, it would have presented a question of fact, and all you need in order to go to trial, right, is for somebody to say, I don't know who's right or who's wrong or who took what or who wrote what, but I can tell you that we need to go to court and talk a little bit about, we need to present this for a jury so you can present your facts and they can help us determine, right? So when you request a jury trial, you want your jury, and you need 7, right? So what's your perspective, Tyree? I talk a lot. You're my first guest on Nights with Nicci, friend. I love it. Yes. All right, so what is your perspective?
My perspective on the whole process that we've been going through since this started has been one hurdle after the other. Every time they throw something, first of all, let me just tell the audience that's listening, the last person that you want to argue with about an intellectual property that they created is Nicci Gilbert. Because since I've known her, a name, a face, a title, they get locked in her head. It's just who she is. It's how she functions. And so the same thing happens when she creates an entity. She knows it frontwards and backwards because usually she writes from a place of knowledge or experience or something that we've been through or we have done. And so it's just like her music. When you guys listen to her songs, those lyrics she didn't just make up one day. It's usually something we did when we were running to 7-Eleven or we were going to a club one night and some shit popped off, and then next thing you know, we have 5 miles to empty. So it's like, it's always been that. She's very prolific. And so anytime at any point in this court case that something has popped up, they cannot argue with you. The only thing they can do is try to defeat you, derail you. Not you, they don't derail you, they try to derail the other people around you, or completely shut down what's happening. And it's like, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because you're not getting due process. You're not getting what's allowable to you by law. You're not getting heard, which at the end of the day, the real fear, you guys, from the entity that has produced P-Valley is that if she gets on the stand, you're not going to beat her.
Well, I mean, that's how my friend feels.
That's how I feel. But you're not willing to take that risk because she knows it in and out, and she can argue everything to the point. So it's passion, it's love, it's years of work, hard work, sweat, and tears, and it's something that's not new. It's not new to us. It's not new to you. It's something that our community goes through on a daily basis in every form and fashion, and it's exhausting.
And be clear, she's not just my friend. She is someone who worked on some of the biggest shows. I'm not going to put your business out in the street, friend. That's for you to do. But she has worked on some of the biggest, most successful television shows and films and projects and series in Hollywood. For how many years?
I would say about 20 years.
About 20 years.
The last 5 years, I just woke up one morning and was like, I'm tired of fighting it. I'm tired of fighting it. I'm tired of being singled out. I'm tired of being stuck in the office on the other side of the building while production is over here on this side of the building. I'm tired of not given the same opportunities that my counterparts of lesser knowledge, education, and experience were getting. And it got frustrating. And it's in all of our lives, all in every job background. It's not just to entertainment. However, we are very entertaining. So they're going to look to us for everything.
Absolutely.
And they've been doing it for years, and it's so heartbreaking to watch some of our peers who have been doing it much longer than us still on the road trying to just make money when they have hits that are centuries old. Right, Nick?
Yep. And the people don't understand, like, at a certain point, like, in a normal job, unless you're a federal judge, based on this article that came out, no shade, but most people retire by the time they 65, at least by the time you 70, even if you're working for a real long time, right? They're judges who are in their 80s. And one of the ladies who's a federal judge is 96. She's 96 years old. And I'm not disrespecting any of the judiciary. Listen, I'm not playing that game. I'm not disrespecting nobody. But it's like your hands are tied, because can you say with a straight face and sincerity in your heart that 80s and 90s, might be a little like sort of kind of like retirement age maybe? And I don't mean to be disrespectful. Like, oh God, I think this is going to come back and bite me in my ass, because then I'm going to, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, we can't change a system that we can't talk about. We can't change a system that we cannot criticize. We can't change a system that we cannot speak truth to power about. And the way that this whole thing is set up is so you can't say that, don't say that. You might piss that person off. You might do this, you might do that. And how do you fix something? How do you have the opportunity to really change the draconian, super duper outdated rules that unfortunately negatively impact our communities in ways that we don't recover from? Like, what happened in Breonna Taylor's case is a travesty.
It's just literally heartbreaking.
it's just,
and defeating. It's defeating.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
but this is where this campaign and the DNC is so prolific in what they were trying to push is that we feel like our vote doesn't matter, but it absolutely does. If you feel like you don't have a voice, that is your voice. It may be one voice, but it adds to my voice and her voice and our friend's voice and our family's voice and your family's voice, and then that voice becomes much louder.
Yes.
But if you don't vote or you feel like, oh, I don't matter, you actually do. Because as we've seen in the last two elections, the votes came down to like minuscule. Okay, that's another thing I need to bring up. This electoral college. We have won the popular vote 2 elections in a row, and we've lost out to electoral college, which I feel like is their way of also controlling yet something else. So, I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but
It definitely matters.
have to make that popular vote be so incredibly amazing that it makes it harder for the electoral college to also do what they're doing.
Absolutely. Somewhat, Tyree, I'm gonna get into some of these questions and comments. Shout out Soror. I see you, Sean. She says, prolonged position holding is not progressive. Absolutely not. What is this? Antiquated practices are tired. Absolutely agree. Derek says the system is set up for the average American to fail, but for the 1% to succeed. Man, listen when I tell you, but this is where I think speaking up and speaking out and sharing your truth comes allows the chickens to come home to roost. So really excited to say that changes are happening. I see them. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my chair situated. Changes are happening. We can't talk about what we know about. You know I can't talk about that.
No.
You know, right? Okay.
Can
I don't think you can either. No.
Okay.
I don't think we should address that. Yeah, let's just let that thing happen and see what comes out in the rinse. But there is some change happening. We got some great information regarding, like I said, parties, people involved in our case. When you speak up and you speak truth to power, no matter how difficult it is, I'm not, honey. Your brother came in here like, what are you talking about? Y'all want to know, don't y'all? I mean, it's public information, but it's not appropriate for me to share it. It's public, but it's not appropriate for me to share it. I'm gonna get into.
I need to speak up.
You need to speak up. That is the point. Always speak up. You never know who's listening. You never know who is working behind the scenes without you even being aware. And I have to say to anybody who has advocated for me, whether I know it or not, not just for me, anybody who has advocated for what is right. And that's the thing. Like the problem for me, the issue for me is that I'm really concerned about doing what is right in our community to help us grow and become greater and become more successful, because they have had their foot on our necks since the beginning of time. Black people are very creative and very athletes, sports, and media and entertainment are the two areas in the Black community that generate the most wealth in our community. They create the most billionaires, right? We are just really good in those spaces. Unfortunately, those are the spaces that are so often, I mean, you see it in corporate America, but in entertainment and sports and, spaces where there are distributors who are basically taking our preeminent business assets, having ownership of them, paying us very small nominal fees for it, and forever in perpetuity. It is something that we create that continues to create generational wealth over the years, generation after generation. When our soon to be president, Madam President, Kamala Harris talks about intergenerational wellness and wealth. Those are spaces where we really could use more fairness and more equality. And that is the reason why I speak about it so often. And I still believe, will always believe, that the reason I'm in the middle of this litigation with Stars and with Lionsgate and Katori Hall is because I wanted ownership of my intellectual property. I wanted to be able to pass this down to future generations. I wanted to be able to do a deal similar to the one that Tyler Perry was able to do. And unfortunately, that opportunity was taken from me. And I'm going to get into my experts report because that is the key piece of my case that was unfortunately, I think part of the reason that we did not go forward, because of the lack of experience. So this is a public document, right? I'm going to try to leave out some of the people's names, but it's all here. So I guess I don't want to scramble my brain trying to take people's names out of here or whatever. So this is the expert report for substantial similarity. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to give you guys some background on my expert, who he is. And again, I did not have a conversation with this expert, which you'll discover as I read. My attorneys did. Tyree, I'm going to mute your phone for me for a minute so the feedback isn't happening. And then I'm going to read you something that he presented that I would just like your opinion on, right? Because at this point, we paid for it. It's been thrown out. Might as well teach somebody with it, right? So my goal is each one teach one. So this is the expert report of substantial similarity and the declaration of Rob Aft submitted on behalf of the plaintiff, Nicole Gilbert Daniels, in further opposition to the motion for summary judgment filed by defendants. So just to kind of explain to you what that means, the defendants in my case were ordered by the judge to file a motion for summary judgment. A motion for summary judgment means they throw the case out and the case does not get a chance to go to trial, right? I think I disagree, but it's the law. So Rob Aft hereby declares as follows. For the past 15 years, I have been the main film consultant lecturer for the UN's World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. I help to organize and speak at conferences around the world on business topics related to film and TV. I wrote the WIPO's, I need my glasses. I wrote the WIPO's foundational publication for the industry, From Script to Screen, What Producers and Distributors Need to Know About Copyright and They're Making a Living in the Film Industry, which is a set of lessons and modules on the topic. I recently wrote Drawing on Creativity, Copyright for Animation Industry Professionals, which is a pending publication. I am also designated mediator in their ADR program. I lecture frequently on these topics outside of WIPO, and I've written other published material, including 2 chapters of the 4th edition of the Movie Business Book, one on international markets and one entitled Getting Paid. My WIPO work involves substantial emphasis on the creation of rights and exploitation of the rights created. I always reinforce the concept that it is important to understand which rights you acquire from underlying rights holders, which rights you create during the filmmaking process, and which rights you subsequently license for distribution revenue purposes. I've attached a copy of my current CV. As an expert witness, I've engaged in cases involving COT, which I believe means chain of title, and proper licensing of derivative rights on multiple occasions. Most recently, a very complex matter involving the rights to a book in the John Steinbeck catalog for his son, Thomas, and his wife, Gail Knight, and a matter for director and producer Donald Borges related to the film adaptation of Stephen King's Children of the Corn. Previously, I have analyzed substantial similarities between projects and offered opinions. I've been deposed in matters related to conformity between scripts and finished films, including what unique elements exist and whether or not those were integral to the value of the distribution rights. I have attached a list of matters on which I've been engaged in over the past 10 years. I have more than 33 years of experience in the film, finance, production, distribution industry, and I've been an independent financial consultant since May of 2001. Prior to that, I ran sales at a number of independent production and distribution companies. So blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go through this man's complete dossier, but basically, at the end of the day, he is well qualified in, in a lot of people's opinions, in my lawyer's opinions, and in my opinions, to be able to, form an opinion on the information. So when you do when you bring on board a copyright expert, right? The copyright expert is basically going to break it down into like mood, setting, pace, like all of these legal terms that you have to figure out when you are trying to determine whether something is has been infringed upon, right? There's something called scenes of frere, which is just, stuff you can pull from anywhere that will fall into any category. There are all sorts of other ways to figure it out, but one of the first steps you have to determine is the order of creation. So this is according to the Copyright Act. The AFT report is what we're calling this. This is the expert report that was filed in my case. Public document, by the way. He said there is no dispute that the film version of Soul Kitten's Cabaret preceded the production of P-Valley by nearly a decade, and that there were significant opportunities for people to see staged readings and theatrical productions of the play starting as early as 2004. Miss Hall seemed to have developed the play Pussy Valley during a playwright retreat sponsored by the Lark Theater Company in 2010. I read an early draft of the play dated in 2011, along with bits and pieces of undated work, some of which seem to have been written prior to the date. I've also read the 2015 production script of the Minneapolis production of the play in 2015. So Katori Hall had one production of the play Pussy Valley, and that was in Minneapolis in 2015. What the expert is saying is that he was able to identify copies of that script and some versions of that play online. So he says, clearly protected elements of Soul Kitten's Cabaret have been used in the creation of the P-Valley television series. However, given the materials which have been produced in discovery, because we did go through a discovery process, and let me say, I said again, you guys may not ever see the discovery that we went and discovered. It was a short process because all of Katori Hall's testimony in discovery has been redacted. Redacted means that if you go to look at it online in the Pacer, in the public forum, you're going to see a whole bunch of black. And as a matter of fact, you might not even see the discovery. But anyway, I have not been asked. I'm sorry. It says, I cannot express an opinion about when this happened or who is responsible. I've not been asked to offer my opinion on those questions, but I expect that I will at some point in the future. In order to successfully resolve the origin of the protected materials that have been incorporated into P-Valley, significant discovery and deposition testimony would be necessary. So we were not given significant discovery in my case. We were given a few months of discovery in my case. In case of this magnitude, you're often given, my lawyer said they've been in discovery for a year. So couple months versus average 6 to 9 months or a year, right? Discovery is when you have an opportunity to ask a lot of questions of the defendants, and they have to answer those questions. And again, my hands are tied in that regard because I can't talk about the things that were in discovery because they redacted everything. And the judge allowed that, right? So he says during development issues specific to P-Valley. Again, if you're just joining our live, make sure that you like, you share, and you subscribe. I am unpacking with my BFF on the line. Say hi again, Tyree, so they know you're there. They can't hear you. So my BFF is on Instagram. So development issue specific. This is me recapping. I'm sorry, unpacking the experts report. During the development process, wholesale changes are often made in the source material. As Ms. Hall states in an interview, the series is more inspired by than based on her play. In their substantial similarity analysis, defendants claim that one of the differences is that the action of SKC is limited to the club, whereas the action of P Valley happens in many different venues. And a lot of y'all have said kind of like, well, it's just different. Well, there's a reason for that. And this is per the expert. P Valley happened, that is similar to pointing out that the series is also not presented on a stage in front of a live audience, which, though true, is irrelevant to the matter. Stage plays, films, TV programs, musicals, animations, books, and audiobooks are all produced and presented in different ways and require different production techniques and, in most cases, different plots, characters, and settings. Many of the arguments in the defendant's substantial similarity analysis are similar, pointing out elements that are not only very different from SKC, but absent from the original Pussy Valley play. Would defendants argue that the rights to Pussy Valley did not need to be licensed in order to produce the P Valley series, or that changes in the names of characters and locations of the club would have suffered to avoid being sued by Ms. Hall? I usually illustrate this in practical terms by saying, it's fine to make a movie called Snow White based on the Brothers Grimm tale because it is in the public domain. But when you put Seven Dwarfs into the mix, then Disney would likely claim copyright infringement. This is an element which they created specifically for their film version during the development process. You can also make a movie about a star-crossed lovers without violating the copyright of West Side Story, as long as you avoid elements specific to the play and the film. There are often basic similarities in creative productions, particularly if they're in the same genre. What is important, though, is that there are specific elements that appear in one piece of source material which have not been licensed, particularly if those elements are arranged and previously illustrated in a substantially similar sequence. Okay, so for all our creatives out there who are wondering, well, Players Club, and Players Club is referenced here. I'm not going to get all off into the weeds of it. Again, look up the AFT report in the case that is Nicci Gilbert Daniels versus Lionsgate, and you will have all the details and specifics that you need because you can read this whole thing yourself. The practical, he says here, hold on. Okay, I'm getting to the good part. So the practical question that is often asked in matters similar to this is, what is the risk of a lawsuit related to the need to license underlying rights? Those rights can include books, plays, fairy tales, life stories, songs, journalism, characters, previously created audiovisual works. And the answer to that question is often very clear, in which case proper license clearances are obtained. Often, as in the case of public domain material, the answer is that there's no chance of legal issues because the rights are freely available. The gray area in between is where infringing happens, and courts have never drawn a clear line in those matters. That is why the question is, will I get sued rather than is it legal? Or if I'm sued, will I prevail? My advice as an expert has always been to avoid lawsuits at all costs, in part because they're costly and in part because the outcome cannot be easily predicted. There's also why most productions require something called errors and omissions insurance, which covers chain of title. Okay, so the question is answered. Having assessed, and this is my expert report for those of you who are just jumping in, we're just reading some excerpts from the expert report, and then we're going to unpack it a little bit. I got a little bit more to go. It's a long report, but I'm sharing with you guys some of the quick and dirty. He says the question answered, having assessed the available material in this matter, It is clear to me that the answer to the question is that, in my expert opinion, you cannot produce P-Valley, a series containing specific selected elements arranged in the same order, in the same setting, with the same mood and themes of family and community as SKC, without expecting to get sued. Furthermore, it is my opinion that the totality of factors confirms that there is substantial similarity between the two works. This includes the selection and arrangement of the elements, the plot, the characters, the tone, and the setting. There are obvious differences as well, as discussed in the development section above, owing to the transition from the stage play to a television series. Now, this is a very interesting piece, right? He said, now, extrinsic analysis, for those of you who don't know, I need all my people who are writers and creatives, I need y'all to lean in and really pay attention to what I'm saying here. An extrinsic analysis is where you extract, I guess, or you take out all of the elements of something that would be found in a familiar setting. Meaning, if it's a restaurant, you got waitresses and tables and unruly customers and they're sending food back. Like, there are elements that are scenes of fare, things that are just going to happen because you're in a restaurant and the story is about something in a restaurant. So you take out all of those elements of things that you would find in a very average restaurant story or setting. And once you take those elements out, if there is nothing left, then it's not substantially similar because you've taken out all of the basic, everyday, similar stuff that you would see in those stories. If you take out the basic, everyday stuff from a story and you're still left with elements that are not typically seen in a restaurant or parts of story that you have not heard before, then that presents what is called a triable issue of fact. Doesn't mean somebody wins, but what it should mean is that a person gets the opportunity to go before a trier of fact, which is a jury of 12, and present their evidence, present their discovery, which we have very little of because we weren't given, the judge initially was not going to give us any discovery at all. And then after we submitted our paperwork, he decided to give us 2 months, which is a very short period of time, especially when people ain't respond, whatever. Anyway, so listen to this very important piece. And then I'm going to wrap up the reading of this and we're going to get into unpacking it. But pay attention to this because, can I say this? This was presented. It's public. So everybody involved in the case saw this. And this was presented to everybody that was involved in the case. He says, I often find that this is my expert, again, a man with 33 years of experience in this field. I often find it useful for an extrinsic analysis to ask what would happen if someone presented the underlying material now that the derivative work is familiar to the industry. In this case, if Miss Gilbert Daniels had a pitch meeting with a producer and she told them the following: I'm a Black woman creative and I've written and directed a play called The Soul Kittens Cabaret, which I think would make a great series. It's a gritty drama set at an erotic dance club in a rundown part of town managed by a flamboyant LGBTQ person who also MCs the shows. The depressed area is set to potentially go through a boom because a casino is coming to town, but they need the land under the club, and the casino owners will stop at nothing to get it. The club is suffering financially and in danger of closing, which is not the best time for a new dancer to apply for a job. But a girl has just gotten off a bus with dreams of stardom. After watching a new girl shake her stuff, the club owner gives her a shot despite the fact that she is obviously pretending to be someone she's not. She's a woman with a past. Most of the action takes place inside the club and behind the scenes in the dancers' dressing rooms, where fights and recriminations are rampant. These women are real family, meaning that they hate each other one minute and love each other the next. The owner is the glue that holds the family together, but he can be mean, even cruel, and he has overcome a lot to be where he is, and he does not intend to go quietly. Realizing that the new dancer has made a connection with the evil reps for the casino, turns out the land was in the family of one of them, and they think it's rightfully theirs. The club owner enlists her to help fight them. Little do they know that she has other ideas about how to look out for herself, as do a number of the other dancers at the club, including the queen bee, who was assigned to show her the ropes. As things seem to collapse at the club, with one dancer getting fired and then rehired for showing up late, dangerous regulars creating trouble, including slinging homophobic slurs at the owner, resulting in the handsome, ripped, and very hetero bartender getting into an increasingly dangerous confrontations. The SKC has a fixed set of rules about those things. You follow the rules or you're out. The queen bee is dethroned when it is revealed that she's working with the casino heavies, and the new girl vies for her spot, provoking anger and a little shock at her suspiciously rapid development. Turns out her grandfather was a preacher who was a regular at the club, and she's also a little conflicted about the morality of what she's doing. A hostage crisis culminates in shifting loyalties, and ultimately the hated queen bee saves the day by buying the club to fulfill another dancer's dream of turning it into a women's clinic and a shelter. Throughout the season, we learn the backstories of the girls, which include abuse, sexual assault, loss of educational opportunities, broken homes. They all agree that they have something to contribute to the new center. It turns out that the queen bee was only faking working for the casino baddies to trap them into a scheme that she had hatched with the owner to get the club out of financial trouble. Don't worry about the owner because they found a new venue and the show will go on. He says, based on my experience, I am certain that any reputable, now this is the expert again. This is not me. This is the expert. Hello. He says, based on my experience, I am certain that any reputable production company would immediately accuse Miss Gilbert Daniels of ripping off P-Valley. The answer to the question would therefore have to be yes. Someone making a TV series based on that pitch should expect to get sued. In reality, even if a production company attempted to produce the show as pitched, it is highly unlikely that they would secure the necessary errors and omissions insurance. The expert says that pitch could be for both SKC and P-Valley. The same elements arranged in the same order, the same gritty setting, groups of women who are erotic performers who strongly believe that they are artists, not prostitutes, though there is a strongly implied that this is exactly what they are, at least one of them, and the selection and arrangement are the same. The characters are strikingly similar, and the tone of both is dark with flashes of humor in each. Community and family are major themes, considering that one is a stage play and one is an 8-episode streaming TV series. There are bound to be some differences. However, any reasonable person would see that one is based on protected and copyrighted elements and the other is not. And one is based on protected and copyright elements of the other. So this is an expert who's been in this industry, guys, for a long time. This is his perspective based on the limited discovery that he had the opportunity to have based on this. There are so many elements of P-Valley and Soulkin's Cabaret that are the same, that it is hard to believe that any human being on the face of the earth would not say, this deserves the opportunity to go before triers of fact. My lawyers are excellent. I have 2 incredible law firms. I'm not going to name them on this here Zoom because they probably don't want me talking about this, but I mean, hey, we in it, but I wanted to share this because a lot of people have wondered and questioned why every time I get on social media, why every time I get, on live, I'm talking about this. And it is because, like my best friend just said, this has been happening for many, 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 many years. There are shows that y'all watch every single day where this very thing has happened. There are shows you would be shocked and dismayed to learn that have been accused of doing this very thing. And there's a system that Hollywood has used for many years to continue to be able to do this very thing. Now, the defendants did not hire an expert. They did not feel like it was necessary. Why? I don't know. If someone's accusing me of
But
doing
there's
something,
also repeat offenders.
yeah, yes, ma'am.
What people also don't understand is that a lot of these shows that are filing these suits against these television entities, they're filing them, and there's common denominators of producers that are involved in each one of these things. So it's not like Nicci's just pulling this out of hot air. It's legitimately, if you go back and you search, you're like, dang, they're saying the same thing I'm saying, but it's with the same person.
It's crazy because it's the same. My judge in my case and some of the defendants in my case have had almost the same, case before. There's a case called The New Girl, which is a public case where two women claimed that their story was taken because they shared it with someone and then someone else was hired to rewrite it. And those women lost. And those women had to pay legal fees as well. And it's like really dangerous when you're sending the message that a person who has expert reports and here's the other thing, you guys. This is an expert report that does not address me sitting down with the CEO of Lionsgate and pitching this to him. Right? So the access piece, they're not even contesting. They're not even like, he's just saying, I don't remember.
They're not contesting. They're not contesting it.
Yeah, he doesn't recall. Although, as I've stated before, my attorney at the time, his paralegal who set the meeting up, my partner who also worked with Tyler Perry, and her boss who was agreeing to finance production if Lionsgate agreed to distribute like they did with Tyler Perry, and the person who went to the meeting with me, and I keep forgetting you. I'm sorry. She couldn't make it because she's doing something with the girls of soccer. But there's so many people who knew about this meeting, right? It's easy to, go through some video footage from the roundabout dates. But they're not contesting that. So you can't spend a whole lot of time arguing things that are not on the table to argue, which is what's really frustrating because the average person would be like, well, damn, I remember it like it was yesterday. Again, Tata, as the expert has even stated, is French for auntie. So it's Auntie Burlesque compared to Uncle Clifford. Auntie Burlesque, Uncle Clifford. The fact that he really liked the name Tata and said that he would read the script with his family. And then where can you read that report? You can read the report. It's on Pacer. In fact, it is also, you can find it on worthmedia.com. Somebody on Instagram asked where they could read the whole report. It is on worthmedia.com. I put all of the publicly filed documents on our Worth Media site because it is teachable and I wanted to be there for other creatives so that when they go and risk their family's livelihood going after giants, that they have a reference point. People are like, oh, your little play is not the same as, the expert addresses that. He says P-Valley is a TV series and SKC is a filmed play. When addressing the issue of pace, and what they try to do is they go through, so Scenes of Frere is a creative's worst nightmare. Please know this. A plaintiff in a case is a copyright infringement case without a doubt. Okay? The three things that you have to prove in a copyright infringement case, and I know there are probably some lawyers on here and I might use the wrong language, because I see it's a bunch of y'all on YouTube and Facebook, and I appreciate you guys. All y'all watching on this YouTube right now, please do me a huge favor and like and subscribe. I see you, Soror. Oh wow, I didn't know you had this a show. Yes, absolutely. I see you. I see you. I see you. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. Let me say this to all creatives: understand that the three things that you have to be able to prove in order to prevail in a copyright infringement lawsuit is you have to be able to prove, number one, that you own the copyright, right? My copyright predates Katori Hall's copyright by over 10 years. My copyright was initially done in 2004. Same story, did not change much at all. Katori Hall, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, so this is very hard to understand why, but she didn't copyright her story until 2017, right? So the three things you have to have is a valid copyright that you own, which I have. You also have to have proof access, which they're not contesting because we have proof of that. There are 5 to 6 people who know the meeting happened versus one person who doesn't remember, right? And that's crazy. Like, you got 5, yeah, the meeting happens. And the thing is, my attorney is friends, or was friends, with the CEO of Lionsgate, which is why he set the meeting up and took the meeting for me. So they're not contesting that. And the other thing you have to prove in a copyright case is substantial similarity. Substantial similarity is where most of these cases are won. Substantial similarity is like the death blow of a copyright case. If you don't have, and most, see, here's the thing. This is what's so crazy about my copyright case. And I want all you young creatives, or not even young creatives, old creatives, any creative who might potentially have to face something like this. Most people don't have their stuff filmed or like shown publicly because most people are not brave enough to steal. Right. I'm saying no, most people are not bold enough, I guess, to steal something that everybody's already seen, which is the crazy shit for me. Right. What made it easier for them to take or to infringe, as I allege, my copyright is because it was a stage play that was a derivative that became a TV show. Right? So,
however, you haven't told everybody that that's not all you left with the CEO.
Right. Well, they probably like, but she done told us 11 times. So that is not right. You're right, friend. Thank you about that. So that is not all I left. So when I went to go and meet with the CEO, exactly. And for those of you listening on YouTube, that is my best friend who's been a part of this process since I started and finished this whole play. And she is my solace along with my, limited group. But anyway, of course I was not pitching a stage play to Lionsgate because the stage play was already a DVD, which starred Faith Evans, Fantasia Barrino, a lot of other really amazing people. I always say Faith and Fantasia because those are the names that you'll know, but everybody involved, y'all, please forgive me if you were involved in Soul Kids. Everybody was amazing and everybody deserves to be recognized for that. So I wasn't pitching them another play. I had written a pilot script called Curtains, which was a dramatic television series that was a gritty urban tale derivative of this. I brought 2 copies of everything of my play. Thank you, friend. I brought 2 copies of the DVD, which was already filmed. I brought 2 copies of the stage play script that was the story was based on, right? Not inspired by, based on. Yeah. Casino was there from jump. Unlike with Katori Hall, as the expert shared, he found a copy of her Pussy Valley play. And in the copy he found, there was no casino in that copy. right? There was no casino in her original play. When she did the play at the Minneapolis or wherever she did in Minnesota, wherever she did the play, there was no mention of a casino. There were so many things that were different. And let Uncle Clifford tell you, the play is vastly were the words that he used when he interviewed with Les Dog on the podcast, is vastly different than the TV show. What's really crazy is my play is more like P-Valley, the series, than Katori's play, which is crazy to me, right? The other thing that is very interesting is, again, I left 2 copies of everything because I was supposed to be meeting with 2 people. I was supposed to be meeting with the head of legal and the head of the network, the CEO of the network. The head of legal was not there. So when I set the 2 copies of each thing that I brought, I left them on the table and I thought, this is great. This meeting was good. It was productive. I had no idea that a question of how safe my story was would come up all these years later, because again, it was copyrighted, it was protected, it had already been shown. We aired on BET. A lot of people don't know that, friend. BET aired Soul Kids Cabaret. A lot of people saw Soul Kids Cabaret on BET. So when the expert talked,
just again, you left 2 copies of the play,
yes,
2 copies of the DVD of the play, and you left 2 copies of your pilot curtains, which was a derivative of your play because you wanted to turn your play into a television series.
exactly, about a venue that was sitting on valuable land that was up for a casino. And what's really interesting is I saw that they were doing a casting call for season 3 for P-Valley. And one of the things that they're looking for is like casino patrons and blackjack dealers and all this other stuff. So of course they're going to go deeper into that story. And one of the things that the judge said in his denial of my ability to go to trial is that I only mentioned the casino plot a couple of times in my play versus them having 8 episodes in a series and mentioning it multiple times. Well, again, they had 8 episodes, 8 hours versus 2 hours to tell a story. So once you've established the plot of a casino takeover, it's not important for me to mention a casino a whole bunch of times, especially when that is the entire basis for the story, right? So Katori, having not had a casino in her original play, but then going to meet with the CEO of the company that puts P-Valley out and saying that during that meeting that she had with that CEO, that they started swapping each other's story ideas, right? Now, this is important to note. I met with the CEO of Lionsgate before Katori met with the CEO of Lionsgate. I left my materials with the CEO of Lionsgate before Katori. Well, she didn't tell us exactly what the date was, but we're assuming that if I had gone in and met with the CEO of Lionsgate and pitched him the exact same story, then he probably would have said, oh, somebody just came in here and pitched us this and we're going to go with her, right? I would assume that, if somebody came in pitching you the exact same story, you'd be like, oh, it's interesting. You have this story because we've already decided to go forward with somebody else. In this case, I pitched it first. I copyrighted it first. And she said when she went and met with them, they were swapping each other's story ideas. She said a pitch session turned into a working session where they were actually building out story. That means we're like, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. So my question for her has always been, what did you talk about, Katori? What did you share with the CEO when you met with him? More important than what you shared, Katori, I'd like to know what he shared with you. Because if he shared with you, hey, we should incorporate a casino, where'd that idea come from? I definitely had a casino in my story from day one, from the moment I put pen to paper. The other thing that's really interesting in this case is that Katori Hall was given $100 million to produce this thing. $100 million. And I quote from the CEO, we gave Katori Hall $100 million to produce P-Valley. Nobody does that with a first-time showrunner, but we did, and it's worked out well for us, and we hope the industry follows suit. You gave a first-time showrunner with no television experience. My best friend who's on this call with us right now has been working in the television industry as an executive producer and a creator and not in front of the camera, behind the camera for over a decade. How long again, friend?
Like 20 years.
20 years she's been working in the TV industry with some of the biggest to ever do it. Somebody saying they're going to give Tyree $100 million to do something might make more sense because she has 20 years worth of experience in television. I've been in this industry for 30 years. We had Fantasia. We had Faith. We had all these amazing people. We had a DVD that was already established. We aired on BET. Yeah, it was a little low budget, but it was a good story, a great story. Why would you decide to pay someone who has zero experience, who did a play that literally Katori Hall says she made $1,000 when that play went up, if I recall correctly? She said, I kept the check like, oh my God, we actually made $1,000. Like, it was funny. You have the same story with the same beginning, the same middle, the same end. Starting with a girl coming in with a red vintage suitcase from the middle of nowhere, club owned by LGBTQIA owner, what is up for on a valuable piece of land that is up for grabs, and not just up for grabs. It is up for grabs. Being forced out by a homophobic antagonist who wears a goatee, carries a flask, smokes a cigar, and hires an inside man, identical in both, to set the women up so they lose the club. How much more? And the club is ultimately saved by the woman that nobody liked. Even if you can't say that this is identical, you should at the very least be able to say that there is a triable issue of fact. There is a dispute. They say these are key things. I'm just going to give y'all a couple key things, key reasons why the judge decided that there were no similarities. Number one, he said, your show is based in an upscale environment. I don't know if you've ever been to Detroit, but that's a city.
Ain't upscale.
It ain't upscale.
At least not
Well, it is now. It is now. It's the shit now. Y'all better go to Detroit. Ooh, baby. Detroit. It's different now. But when I wrote it in 2004, we were going through bankruptcy as a city. There's nothing but abandoned buildings. The other really interesting point that he made, he said I was upscale and P-Valley was based in the hood. No, it was based in the hood. Like, that is a disputable issue. Like, that is disputable. Like, is Detroit upscale or hood? That's a question for a jury, kind of, right? Or most people be like, no, this shit is hood. But you can bring it to a jury. Another issue that the judge said, was not close enough to warrant me going to a jury was the fact that my character was gay and their character was non-binary and gender fluid. Well, we all know that non-binary was not a term in 2004. We had no idea. If somebody came up to you and said, I'm non-binary, you'd be like,
it wasn't a term in 2014.
It was a term, but it wasn't a term that we used, right? So binary and but it wasn't a way to describe people who live an alternative lifestyle. It evolved, right? So now suddenly the difference between our two characters is that my character is gay and their character is non-binary. So if you felt like
character wasn't gay, he was a drag queen.
He was a flamboyant drag queen, as he was described, named Auntie Burlesque. However, so you see how you just debated that issue with me, friend? That means there's a dispute, right? That means there's a question. Is non-binary and gender fluid different from being gay or a drag queen? That is a question for a jury. That is a question for a trier of fact, right? If you don't just automatically assume that it's, semantics, right? Most of the gay people that I know, or transgender people I know, or gender fluid people I know, have all said no. That's why they call the community LBGTQIA, or it's an umbrella. It's a group of people.
Yes.
It is a group of people. They don't even separate within their their community. But the judge said it wasn't similar enough because my character's gay. Like, literally, this is what's in there. Maybe I'm not going to say literally because I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I specifically remember reading the words, which I'm not going to read it for y'all here because it's triggering. But your character's gay, their character's non-binary. Another thing they said was different was the fact that I only mentioned the casino once. There was my character was nerdy. Their character was conservative. Just a lot of little things that I think should be presented to a jury, especially since they've now decided that you're going to grant the defendants because I lost, right? He says there's no question that Miss Gilbert lost this case and she should have never brought it to the court because it's frivolous, right? Frivolous. After the defendant said they spent $1.5 million, I owe my lawyers about the same amount of money. We spent all this money on the experts report. We are up for oral hearing. So what happens, so you guys are clear on the process.
3 years, 3.5 years.
No, it's been since, if you count the time that we were trying to communicate with Katori Hall and her people and not file a claim in court, it's been 4 years.
Right. It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So 4 years is non-frivolous.
4 years. And it wasn't so frivolous when it was in Georgia and the conversations were more about how can we fix this. And then all of a sudden when it went to LA, it was in Georgia for a year and a couple months. And then it was plucked out of Georgia and dropped into Los Angeles to the Central District Judge.
So your lawyers wouldn't have accepted your case if they chose.
And that's the thing. That's the.
We're not mentioning who her lawyers are, but they would not have accepted this case as huge as this law firm. These law firms
Two,
were,
right?
if it was frivolous. Anyway.
What law firm is going to risk it all? And not only that, every single lawyer, not one lawyer that I've spoken, and again, I have my litigation attorneys, I have transactional attorneys, I have a lot of I have attorneys, and every single one of them, other litigation attorneys, people who have just offered an opinion because they've researched the case. Some of them have been part of some of the biggest cases on the planet that I will not name, have all said, because I'm like, listen, is it really worth the risk? Because the thing is, we probably could have not ended up getting this judgment order for us to pay them $600,000 if we had said, okay, you know what, Uncle, you guys are right. There's nothing here. I was frivolous. I shouldn't have done this. I'm not saying that this actually happened, but again, I'm suggesting that maybe perhaps if I did not go forward with my appeal, then I would not have had to worry about paying them $600,000. They probably would have been like, okay, pack your bags, go home, you lost. And I wouldn't have a shot at an appeal. But because I believe in my case and my lawyers believe in my case and my friends and family and all of you who have gone to WRFmedia.com and looked at the 57 side-by-side video comparisons or looked at the chart. Listen, I started losing sleep doing this chart. I was reading double and my friend was like, no, but you got to fix this. Here's the typo. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had to all be all hands on deck because you pay lawyers $500 and $600 and $700 and $1,000 and $1,500 an hour to do stuff. And I thank God that I have people who know how to do that. So I was able to get it for free 99. But my point is just nobody invests that kind of time, free 99. Nobody invests that kind of time and energy and effort into something that is frivolous. And it was heartbreaking to learn that although we are in the middle of appeal, currently in the middle of appeal, which means that when the judge ruled against me and for the defendants, in December, right before Christmas, after all these years, and said my case was frivolous and that there were no similarities that were worth a jury.
After redacting testimony and redacting expert reports,
Oh,
ignoring evidence.
yep.
Oh,
And
sorry. I'm sorry.
no, go for it. And right. I mean, well, I don't know if they were ignoring evidence. We can't say that. Because we don't want to, our friend said. But you said that, not me, and I can't control because you on live. You say till you grown as hell. But yeah, I want to correct you. I'm not saying they ignored any evidence. He said he thoroughly watched and reviewed all of it. The other really interesting thing that didn't really pan out in my favor in this case is the fact that we found out when we got to Los Angeles that the clerk, the judicial clerk for my judge, is actually a litigator now working for the lawyers that are representing the defendants. I'm going to say it one more time so y'all can understand it clearly. So, in case it gets confusing, Lionsgate and Stars, the law firm that represents them, hired a judicial clerk that clerked and worked and twerked. No, see, that's a joke. That's a joke.
With the judge.
That clerked for the judge
For 3 years.
that is overseeing my case. So I felt like, oh my God, how is it possible that I can have a fair trial or a fair opportunity or a fair shot if they've got the advantage of knowing all of those intimate details, because the clerk who worked for the judge now works for the defendants. It's perfectly legal. Nothing I can do. It happens all the time. I wish I had known that. But I know now. And again, all I can do is grit my teeth and pray. So be clear. I knew I did not stand a chance here. That's why I was always like, please let me get to trial. Please let me get to trial. That's why I was having my car rants, which have now become Nights with Nicci at 7 p.m. And it's only supposed to be for an hour. And I know I've gone an hour and 30 minutes, but we got stuck. We got dipped off for a minute. But all of these things.
I want you to answer a question.
Sure.
I do want you to answer a question from LexisNexis 8123.
Not LexisNexis.
Says,
Okay.
Or he or she, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding your written projects, have you noticed that you were requested to rewrite to include certain narratives that changed your storylines or took away from them?
So I wasn't requested to rewrite anything because I didn't write anything outside of my original show and story. Katori was probably instructed to rewrite some things. So that's really a question for her.
And I wanted to add to that, yes, it is standard practice in TV. When we get a script, we create a writer's room on our shows. And in the writer's room, we will take the original script and we will rewrite, add, elaborate, or dramatize the original script that is given to us to make it better for TV. So yes, that is a standard practice.
And
I can say that confidently.
And another standard practice, or at least something that we know that Lionsgate does and Stars does, is there is a person, and I've said this in another live, there's a woman who went in and met with Stars, and they called her in because there was a diversity chief around the same time that Katori met with them. Ironically, Katori knows her. They're friends because you can see online that they have been like awarded the same award for stuff. And she's a theater girl. So she's a person who writes theater, who was called in by Stars. She was presented 3 different things. And this is based on an interview that we found online as well. She was presented 3 different ideas by the head of a department. The same person that she was ironically presented 3 different ideas by the same person that Katori met with. Same lady. I'm not going to put that lady name out there because I'm just going to be respectful. But they met with the same woman, and the woman presented her these 3 things, and she said, which one resonates with you? And the lady said, well, I like this Poor Vita short story idea that you guys presented to me. So the lady told her, go home and write it, develop it, add to it, to your point, Tyree, make it interesting, make it compelling, and bring it back. She went and did that. When she brought it back, she thought she was going to be a writer on the show. They said, no, you're not going to be a writer on the show. You're going to be the showrunner, the creator of this series. This is your story that you created. Now, one would ask, how's it possible that she created a story that they presented to her that was already pretty much written? Now, she may have adapted the story. She may have tweaked it here and there. She may be a writer, rewritten, but she didn't create the idea. Someone else did. Even if they owned it, even if Lionsgate acquired it, which they did not own the rights to Soul Kittens Cabaret, which the expert talks about. The fact is, they did not, they gave this woman credit, and it became a huge show, and it was on around the same time as P-Valley. I don't know if y'all saw that show Vita, but that's the show. And I wonder if, because it was the same lady who met with Katori Hall, if the similar situation happened. I wonder if Katori went and sat down with them and they said, hey, listen, we got this thing and blah, 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 and go and whatever. And she went and she whatevered and she came back and they made her a creator and showrunner for it. And the reason I say that is because she did say that she went and met with that lady. She said, I went and met with the woman. When she did the ABFF interview, she said, I met with her. And she told me, you got to jump through another hoop of fire, leave, come back. She went, she did some stuff, she came back. Of course, our research showed that she was in LA around the same time I was in LA. And she posted something that said, writing is rewriting. Don't let anyone tell you different. And somebody put the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil emojis underneath her caption. So I don't know what she meant when she said, I'm in LA at my friend's house rewriting something. But I venture to wonder if she was rewriting my story. Especially when someone shares see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil in the emojis underneath. So I'm just curious. Like, those are all questions I have. I'm not saying that she did. I'm just saying that it should be okay for me to ask those questions. It should be okay for a jury to hear the answers to those questions. One thing that we noticed, Tyree, Lenny, and I were talking about this. Katori hasn't said one thing publicly about this case at all. She has not said, I did not do it publicly. She has not said that lady is crazy public. Now, she said it privately to people because I know people who worked with her in the past, and I believe them when they say that she was calling me crazy and all kinds of other stuff. But she hasn't publicly defended herself as a Pulitzer Prize winning author. She has not publicly defended herself of the accusation of intellectual property theft. Listen, if somebody accuses this brain,
I believe she can't. I believe she can't.
Why do you say that?
Because I believe that when they gave her the $100 million and brought her on as a first-time showrunner, she signed an NDA.
Yeah, you definitely probably signed an NDA if they, and I don't think, let's be clear, I don't think they gave her nothing against. Well, I got something against her, because my family's whole livelihood is on the line.
As big as it is,
She's a small piece of the puzzle. Yeah, especially since, yeah. Absolutely. And I'm sure she signed an NDA, and I'm sure everybody else on the set signed an NDA. And be clear, I don't have an issue with any of the talent. Y'all, so many of y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, y'all showing out. I don't know not Instagram, because Instagram, y'all got 3 people on this live. But Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, or X. Right, you're one of them. Thank you guys. Please make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe. You guys, this is a grassroots effort. I really need you guys to get my story out to as many people as possible, because we have been prevented. What, babe? Okay. Because we have been shadow banned, for lack of a better word. So another very interesting thing is that she signed a first look deal, which means that this is a deal for her to be able to produce other content, right? Unfortunately, she hasn't produced anything new. And I think the reason that she hasn't produced anything new is because she is not that writer and creator that everybody's praising her to be, right? People talk about this Martin Luther King project that she wrote. Yeah. The Martin Luther King project she wrote was The Mountaintop. That is the thing she won the Pulitzer Prize for. Or maybe that's not what she won the Pulitzer Prize. She won some award for that. And The Mountaintop was a story, which I have not seen, a story of Martin Luther King in a motel room with a maid before he got assassinated. First of all, Martin Luther King's life and his story is his life and his story, and we all know it. So it doesn't take a genius to come up with something that wasn't that original. Another interesting tidbit in the Martin Luther King Mountaintop situation is one of the actresses from Soul Kittens Cabaret, who was the star of Soul Kittens Cabaret. Soul Kittens Cabaret is listed as number 1 or 2 on her resume for theater, was the star of Katori's play The Mountaintop in 2011 or 12 here in Atlanta. The Mountaintop is a 2-person play or a 2-person production. So how Katori had the star of Soul Kittens Cabaret, who played Brandy in Soul Kittens Cabaret, as the star of The Mountaintop in a 2-person play, and that play was listed in the top 1 or 2 on her resume, and didn't inquire, what is Soul Kittens Cabaret? What was that character like through her theater experience? It's just odd to me. I'm not saying anything nefarious happened. I'm just saying if you have someone who is a star of Soul Kittens Cabaret and also a star of The Mountaintop, which is unrelated to P Valley, it would seem like you would like look at her resume and be like, well, let me see this Soul Kittens Cabaret thing she did. Katori also said in an interview, and y'all like, you know everything about Katori. I know a whole lot. Not everything. Trust me, there's some things I would still like to know in trial. But Katori says she sees everything by black playwrights. In addition to that, Katori met with someone that I know. Not Katori. Someone from Katori's team met with someone from my team. Remember that? Met with someone from my team. We have the email thread from that. And the person from my team called the person on her team, who is a producer, one of the producers on P Valley, met with someone on my team because, as I've stated numerous times, my production partners also produced for Tyler Perry, and they put all his plays to this day on the road. One of the investors who invested in Tyler's career. Katori's person reached out to my person, who is the GM of the company that promotes Tyler, because she was interested in them potentially funding or co-funding or working with Katori and putting her shows on the road. So we have the email exchange between Katori and the person on my team, not Katori, I'm sorry, Katori's teammate and the person on my team, where they're actually inviting my producer partner to come and see Katori's play Ladies of Cabejo at the Lark, which is where Katori allegedly developed P Valley. So there's so many various things that we allegedly created it. So many scenarios where we would just like to go to trial so we can ask all these questions and get these things answered. But unfortunately, the judge said it's not enough. And the question then becomes, what is enough? If 57 comparisons is not enough.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry?
I think that's really the overarching theme here for you. I see a lot of people asking, like, is this all you're going to talk about on your live? Is this like the topic of your live? Well, the thing is, we're trying to just get everyone to understand, because this isn't the first time people have stolen Nicci's ideas. It goes way back. She writes stuff constantly, pitches it to people. Next thing we know, there's a show just like it on the air, and Nicci has nothing. So this is not the first time. This is just the last time.
Oh, it's definitely the last time, for sure. And to people who wonder why I'm talking about this so much, because I have to pay them $600,000. What else?
It's more than that, Nicci. I think you're talking about it because this happens to too much to all of our people. And you have always been an advocate for helping Black women,
Thank you for
the
fixing
Black
that.
community, Black men, entertainers, singers, writers. It doesn't matter who it is. You've always advocated for helping us to better ourselves, because we've been in this industry since the 90s. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
It's we look up and we're like, damn, we've been doing this since 1992. Or wait, you were probably 1990. I rolled up
Yes.
too, but and it's been taken over and over and over. Just so you guys can get a feel for this, I used to work on Living Single with Queen Latifah, and
Don't
I was
be.
there the day.
I was gonna say, don't put
I
nobody.
I know, but I'm saying this is my experience. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was there the day that the white suits came in, sat down at one of our last tapings. There were 30 of them. Now, I don't know how many of you have been to television studios, but there's only about 80 to 100 seats in any studio that when we're filming live. 30 of those seats were white suits. They left. 3 episodes later, our show was canceled. And guess what came up the next season?
Friends.
It was adapted from our show.
Wasn't there like a little question about where that came from? Wasn't that's Yvette Lee Bowser, right?
Yvette Lee Bowser. It's just you guys. It just happens so much, and the awareness has to be put out there. And Nicci fights all the time, not for herself all the time, but for anyone around her, and she tries to uplift our community and help. But in this particular situation, it's not so much like, oh my God, it's my show. But really, it's about, give me a chance to fight for my show. That's what she's talking about all the time is, give me the chance to stand in a courtroom with a judge and a jury and fight for the right that the IP that I created. That's really all this is about. And I just wanted to clear that up because I just wanted people to understand that this is bigger than just this particular situation.
It is absolutely. It's always been from day one about advocating for creatives, but let me go a little deeper into why it's every single day. Because again, you can advocate without going live every single day talking about the same thing. And I'm going to explain to you why. Number one, every time you speak about it, someone different hears the story. Trust me, just booked a big interview from somebody who had no idea what was going on, but they caught one of my lives and they caught the story. Number two, it is a historical document. This hopefully will be around for years and years and years and years to come, for people to be able to go back and people to be able to, hey buddy, for people to be able to go back and look at. And also the reason why I have been going so hard here recently is because the judge did rule that in spite of the fact that we are in appeal, that Lionsgate and Starz and Katori Hall and all those guys can immediately start collecting on the judgment that he gave them.
Which is egregious.
That means any day now, we'll be hit with, like, they're filing the paperwork. They got to refile the stuff in Georgia because it was in LA. But they've started the process. They've executed their writs of whatever it is. So any day now, these people can come and completely seize, collect, take
everything,
whatever amounts to the $650 whatever $1,000 that they've been granted. And every opportunity that I have to share my story with people leading up to the day where I realize that I have to either file bankruptcy or do whatever it is that I have to do, as hard as we've worked, as much as we've been decent people trying to create not just opportunities for ourselves, but every show I create, all these ideas I put together, that is not just about me. I don't think I owe anybody the proof that I'm pro-woman and pro-creative and pro helping people navigate this foul ass industry that we've been in for so long. But right now is like the roof is on fire. And be clear, I'm not doing Nice with Nicci 5 nights a week because I want to talk about P Valley every night. However, that is the most relevant, important issue in my life right now. I'm doing it nightly because I'm building my YouTube audience and I got bills to pay. And I love talking to y'all, educating y'all. And hopefully people get information from this. And I see my audience has grown because there are people here. Someone says, I said this in the live last week before it dropped. We thank you for your transparency. I appreciate your resolve. You shared many valuable gems for aspiring seasoned professional creatives. And that's what it's about. Can we donate to your chat? See, y'all got to teach me how to do this. Yes, at Fight for Worth. Fight the number 4 Worth is our Cash App. Our Cash App is at, I think I got it on one of these things. Listen, hold on. Let's go ahead on and do that just in case somebody, hold up. I mean, I ain't trying to be begging or nothing, but I'm just saying, it's not even on there. I got to make sure it's Fight for Worth is our Cash App. FIGHT, $FIGHT, number 4 and WIRF. And I'm also not necessarily doing this for sympathy, right? I want you guys to be able to relate to it. And I'm about to get off. I'm about to wrap this up because we need to walk my dog. But I'm also not doing this for sympathy. I'm doing this because I don't have a choice. I don't have another way of sharing this story so that other people, you either, depending on how this goes with Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and let me just tell y'all where we are real quick. We are currently in appeal, which means we have submitted an appeal to the judge's decision to dismiss my case. That appeal is currently with the Ninth Circuit, which is the higher court that will look at it and determine whether or not there was an error. The only time appeals are overturned is if there was an error in the order or the final say from the judge. We were selected for oral hearing, which means we are going to go before the panel of 3 appeals court judges, and we are going to argue our facts and argue our case for about 15 to 30 minutes. That'll be live on YouTube for everybody to look at, for everybody to see. They've been pushing it back because they're not in a hurry to do it. The defendants, that's what I mean by they. Originally, they were looking at it in October, but they was busy in October, and then they said November, and now they busy in November. And now we're hoping that we can do it in December. In the meantime, we asked the judge if he would please not allow them to take everything from us, right? And just wait, right, until we can get to the appeal. We asked the judge, sir, please, we're in appeal. We're up for oral hearing. Let us at least see what the appeals court says before you give them the right to take things away from us. He said no. He said, I am going to allow them to start collecting now. There will be no stay. So they can start collecting any day. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. And we're prepared for whatever the outcome is. My BFF already said we can move in with her if we need to. And I know some of y'all will let us move in with y'all too if we need to. I'm joking. But we're going to protect ourselves the best way we can. But the reason I'm hammering this point home is because it's all I can do right now. I can't yell and cuss people out and say, I believe this happened and that happened and whatever. But let me say this, and this is a praise report, and I'm not going to go deep. But what we've discovered is that we're not the only ones who feel like we didn't get a fair shot in this system.
Yeah.
And people are paying attention to that. And very important people are paying attention to that. And very important people are looking into all of the things to make sure that everything is fair. That's it. We don't want no favoritism. We don't want no extra shit on the top of it. We just want to make sure everything is fair. And we discovered very recently, as recently as Friday, that there are steps that are being taken to make sure that everybody involved in this process is doing it the right way, the legal way, the fair way.
Yeah.
And that's something that is the best thing we could have hoped for. It's the best thing we could have hoped for in this situation. So I want y'all to pray, put positive words into the universe. Please share my story. Please share the 57 comparisons at worthmedia.com. Please go look at the Vimeo link, which will be in the description box on this YouTube video. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to worthtv.com. Y'all want to know how y'all can really help me? You can help by going to wirftv.com and registering. It's $19.22 for the whole year. We got 3 seasons of From the Bottom Up on there. We've got Diary of a Diva on there. The new Diary of a Diva with Latavia Roberson and my soror, will be up on there on September. Well, actually, if you are a member of Worth TV, you can see it before September 1st, but it will go up on September 1st. New season of She Speaks Live is up. All new season in studio. We are busting our asses to give you guys really great content. It is not easy. We have sacrificed tremendously over the years. We got a lot of things in front of us that are challenging us every single day. But I'm going to say this. Tell us when you will be in the interview on the important platform. I can't. Questions are being vetted because it's such a big deal. It's being vetted. Like, questions have to be vetted. Like, when you get to a platform, a certain level, even though they can take anything from here, but we'll just say, I've been drinking. No, but it for their protection and ours, you have to be very clear about the things that you can say. So we've done it, but it has to be vetted. It might not come tomorrow, but it's coming. Rest assured that I have much more faith in the judicial system after what I recently discovered. I was wondering how it's possible for things to go a certain way. And now I understand that, we will have a fair shot. And I just need y'all to pray that the appeals court allows us to go to trial. That is all we want. That is all you have to do. And please share this.
This goes back to voting. This goes back to voting, everyone. Because when we vote in our Democrats, they can vote in our judges. And the judges that sit on their posts for a lifetime, right? We need more of the Democratic judges in there to offset the Republican judges that we're fighting against. And that is the situation we're in right now. It's not just us, it's all of us.
It's all of us. And this isn't this.
Kamala.
You sound like Kamala. You look like Kamala too, friend. Right?
Oh, I kind of do
A little you favor. It's a little biracial tease. She's beautiful. You guys on YouTube can't see it, but she's absolutely gorgeous. Hi, everyone. But listen, real quick, read the article that ABC News, or was it NBC? Oh, Lord. They just put out an article about judges and term limits and, older judges. And I don't mean any disrespect, because one of the big things is there are a lot of judges that were appointed by Ronald Reagan in the 80s. A lot of them.
150 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect to anybody. It's just everybody deserves a chance, right? We want to get fresh, new perspectives. We want to be progressive as a country. Just like we got the internet now and cell phones now and things are different. When our Constitution was written and when these rules were created, it was at a time where people couldn't see all of these things. Like the fact that I have a whole TV studio and can broadcast to my audience nightly without like 5 big giant cameras and all. Everything has evolved and been consolidated and changed. And we need to make sure that that change happens, not just in technology, not just in music, but in the judicial system. The judiciary is one of the most powerful elements in our country. Period. Branches of authority in our country. And these people, as smart as they are and skilled as they are, we all get older. Progressive means we provide opportunities for newbies, right? Like we about to provide an opportunity for first Black woman president in the country. So it's so many of y'all that have tuned into this. I think this is one of my, with the exception of these people on Instagram. I don't know why they keep shadow banning me and Erica Campbell, but we gonna figure it out.
Hey, I'm here.
You here. 1, 2, 3. But YouTube, please, you guys, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, talk about it at the water cooler, and I'm not saying that I wish ill will on anybody, but every day I pray And this is something for us all to consider. Pray that people get tenfold what they give you. That isn't tenfold bad. That isn't tenfold good. It is just whatever you're getting from people. The safest thing for you to do is pray that God gives them tenfold. If somebody does something special for you, pray that God rewards them tenfold. If somebody does something horrible to you, pray that God gives that lesson to them tenfold. If you pray that people get tenfold what they give to you, then you're in a safe space, because it's up to God to determine what happens with them. And I've been praying every single day that God gives them people tenfold. And I think they're going to get it. I'm about to bash nobody, but just Google Lionsgate. Google Ninth Circuit. Just Google. All right. Okay. So every night, 7:00, we will not be going 2 hours. We went 2 hours tonight because my BFF was on here and I just wanted to break down the expert's report. Tomorrow night, we're going to try to not talk about the P-Valley case. Tomorrow night, we are, however, going to talk about another case, a very important case, and one that I think if it went a different way, I would not be in the situation I'm in today. All right. So stay tuned. Yes, indeed. Tell us when you will be on. Okay. Yeah. Stay tuned, everyone. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Tyree, thank you so much for coming on here and being, my anchor as you always are. We're going to get her back on here tomorrow, but we're going to do it ahead of time so you can see her on YouTube. You guys, worthtv.com, register, subscribe, and be ready for She Speaks Live, all new, September 1st, 9:30 p.m. So you clear. Sunday nights at 9:30, She Speaks Live. That's a panel with 5 of us and the R&B Divas Diary of a Diva mashup. Okay? Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got some information and hopefully some inspiration also. And be clear. People are listening. People are watching. And people are cheering for you, even if you don't see it. Coming from the right place, can't go wrong. All right. Thanks for enjoying us tonight with Nights with Nicci. Subscribe. I love y'all. I'm going to call you after this, Tyree. All right. Bye, Instagram. Thank you so much. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I thank you for sharing this night with me. I thank y'all for being here, and please make sure that you tell somebody. Tell a friend to tell a friend. She's back.